Hoi!
Oh.
Hoi!
Oh. Oh.
Pat Bonfrisco's second, the part 2.
Bon?
Uncharted regions, here comes a legend. It's time to ramble. Frisk, they're secret raiders, they're mass crusaders. It's time to ramble. Isco? The wings of silver and nerves of steel now. It's time to ramble. Bonnies? They're stoned by day now, warriors by night though. It's time to ramble. Yeah! 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 Oh, there we go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Ramble Podcast. This is a Geek's Guide to Pop Culture, in case you didn't already know that. In case you didn't already know, we are the Geeks. I am comedian, cancer fighter, cougher.
Extraordinaire. Master of the cough? Master of the cough.
I think at this point, master of the cough. Mangs Mang, Jerry Rocha. Right there we have,
comedian, podcaster,
yes.
Keeper of the Eye of Agamotto.
Look at the, holy shit. We have a fucking, we have a sorcerer supreme just right here. Jesus, who knew?
Eddie Pence.
And standing by Lonnie, being the true hero.
Lonnie.
Of the rebellion.
Who else?
I don't know who you put over him right now.
I don't know if you have to rank heroes of the rebellion.
Well, no.
Is Luke in the top 5? Is Luke in the top 5?
Can I tell you my number 1?
Okay.
Let me do this first. Subscribe to The Ramble. Give it a 5-star rating and a positive text review. I want to thank everybody who's done that so far. You can email us, ramble@theramblepod.com, or on Instagram at Podcast Ramble. You can see our lovely faces on our YouTube channel, The Ramble Tube. We have our merch page. Subscribe to The Ramble. Give it a 5-star rating and a positive text review. If you do not do those things, we being Eddie and I, and probably all the other Rambler extraordinaires who have done this, we're going to have to look at you as a chump.
Yeah.
We just technically
right now I'm Sorcerer Supreme, so you don't want that.
Do you want do you want that on your chumpness right now? Man, we are the real Britman, still on top of this hill. We don't know who the European champ is. We would love to know that one day. If that's you,
that would be
let
nice.
us know with proof. Send a screenshot.
What if it was like a descendant of Davy Boy Smith? Wouldn't that be appropriate?
That would be the greatest. That would be
his child, like one of his children.
One of Davy Boy Smith's kids. That'd be the greatest. Oh, my. Or, you know what, was Chris Adams British, the gentleman, Chris Adams?
I think so. Steven Regal would be probably my pick.
He's a great one. All right, so we're going to geek out on some things, on some video games. We're going to do the best around. Eddie, I'm springing this on you. The best around X-Men costume, period. If you had to pick, come on, huh? Come on. Now, X Factor, X Force, all included. Any of the X World, any of the X.
Okay, because there was that late '80s with the Storm, and they didn't have a uniform.
That might.
They were all individual.
That might be where I'm picking.
I'm just saying that's not a uniform. They were all wearing whatever they wanted to wear.
It's true, but it worked. We're gonna build the Super Nintendo game that should have been, and this one is gonna be Sim City, but you build a Branch Davidian cult compound. That's it.
And what we have to we got to figure out in the Sim City what things have to be put into the compound to make it a high-functioning compound.
I think so. But before we get into this, back to the question, Lonnie, true hero of the rebellion, does Luke make the top 5? Is your question?
I don't know. After Andor, these 2 seasons of Andor, I don't know if Luke makes the top 5. If he is, he's not in the top 3.
Is this just rebellion? Because I'll stand behind this. I've stood behind this, and it's not just the rebellion. I think the MVP of all of Star Wars is R2-D2.
Okay.
I mean, who saves their asses in every film in the first
He
three?
he kind of comes through all the time.
Who stops the garbage compactor from killing them all?
R2D2.
Who fixes
Sure.
the hyperdrive on the Millennium Falcon?
R2D2. Sure.
Who's holding Luke Skywalker's lightsaber on the Battle of
R2D2.
Tatooine?
Sure.
I mean,
Sure. Sure.
who saves their asses? Who stops the fucking machine they're on in Episode 2? R2D2. Who fixes the transport ship in Episode 1?
R2D2.
He is the fucking who knows where Luke is in Force Awakens.
R2D2.
It's just not even. This is becoming. It's not even.
Is that why the sequel trilogy didn't fare as well? Because they didn't focus on the MVP.
They still gave him one. They gave
him one, but they didn't run the offense through R2D2
no, they didn't
the way
run the
they
offense,
did.
Not in the other two. Yeah, right. That hurt. But he was. I mean, R2. I don't see who did. I don't know who was better than. I mean, and you could also say that Salacious Crumb might have been the most deadly member of Jabba's gang, and who's the one that took him out?
R2.
There it is. I mean,
he bitched out C-3PO pretty quick, ripped his eyeball out.
quick, and R2D2 just started zapping that motherfucker. Like, who was the only one who didn't give a fuck about? He was fucking with Yoda. He was fucking with Yoda. He was just sitting there fucking with Yoda. Like, I mean, it's. Ooh. So.
Well, he also knew Yoda from way back when. They were old pals.
Right. He was, and even more so, fucking with Luke, holding on to kayfabe was R2D2 in that scene. Just not letting, he was like, just not letting go of kayfabe. I mean,
on par with Sid Vicious when Shockmaster came through the wall.
Same
R2
things.
holding
R2
the kayfabe.
holding the kayfabe, going, this guy pretending to be an idiot. It's fucking Yoda. God, I ain't saying shit. I don't know. I think R2D2 is the MVP in all of Star Wars. But now, if we're just gonna put together Rebellion.
Because you see how well it stacks in Andor to get to the point where Luke can even shoot a laser bolt into the Death Star.
Mean, it's just like, I hate to say this about Luke Skywalker, but, the Dallas Mavericks, when they won their first playoff series with Dirk Nowitzki, and it was kind of the beginning of them not sucking, right? It was Game 5. Remember back when the first round of the NBA playoffs was just best of 5. They went to Game 5 against the Utah Jazz.
Sure.
And kind of a miracle tip-in last-second shot was their backup center, Calvin Booth. Hero.
Is that Luke?
I mean, just kind of there.
On that, if you want to go with that, draw that analogy. I mean, look at Super Bowl 20. Walter Payton has this career, and the fridge gets the 1 yard touchdown. Andor is Walter Payton in this scenario, and then when it comes time to give Andor, he's out. Put in Luke to take it over the finish line.
I'm going Luthen number 1. Does Clea count, or is she with Luthen?
I think they're one and the same. I think they're attached.
Okay.
I think Luthen and Clea are attached.
So it's Luthen, Clea.
No, if she doesn't pull off that heist to kill him in the hospital, and that's all her. If she gets caught, it's over.
So I'm going. Fuck, man. I'm gonna go Luthen number 1. This is I'm just knee jerk right now. Okay. Luthen, Clea, Mon Mothma, Andor, Bail Organa. Luthen, Clea, Mon Mothma, Andor.
No Saul. Saul's not in there anywhere.
He's too crazy. He's waiting to. I mean, look what happens in Rogue One. He's just waiting to get busted. Saw Gerrera.
I still want to know how he lost both legs.
I know.
I just want to know how he lost both legs.
Exactly. He's Joe Pesci in fucking Casino. It's Saw Gerrera. Like, Jesus fucking. I mean, he's the muscle. But, Mike, again, that's my point. Look at Mon Mothma. Mon Mothma makes it to Return of the Jedi still fine as shit. Saw's losing every limb under the sun. He's too crazy. He's doing it the wrong way.
Bix is a hero too. I don't know if she's as big as Luke, but Bix is in there.
Bix is in there, but Lonnie, like you said, Lonnie's in there. Lonnie top 10.
Lonnie found 10. The plans.
There's no, dude. He fucking. We were wondering this whole time who's gonna give Daedra her comeuppance. It was Lonnie. Because of Lonnie, fucking old boy had to blow his head off instead of having Vader and the Emperor just fuck him to death or whatever they were gonna do.
What if that's the way that was the final Imperial torture? Is you had to go into the Emperor's chamber, and then just Vader and Palpatine run a train on you until you pass away.
You walk in, the guy's talking shit like the guy's talking. He's impossible. He's like, oh, that's impossible. There's nothing left of Anakin Skywalker. And then you just see this fucking dick come out of a fucking back to tank. This charred up dick, and Vader's just force slamming it into the guy over and over again.
I don't even have it anymore. But I can still fuck you with it.
I'll still fuck you with this. God, I don't, man, this is a tough top 5, Eddie.
Well, like, it's weird because, I mean, until Andor came along, and even Rogue One to a lesser extent, we just automatically assumed Luke is the hero of the rebellion. He was the guy who saved everybody. He came out of nowhere. He blew up the Death Star. But, like, the people that got the plans into Leia's hands were the ones who were, like, none of that happened.
Look, no offense, I'm not trying to knock on your people, but of course, they had to give it to the blonde-haired, blue-eyed white kid. I mean, Jesus Christ. What
better way to sell it? What better way to sell it?
Right. The Mexicans completely forgotten. What the Mexican did, completely
can't sell the Mexican out front. That's not going to work.
The fucking Mexican does all the fucking dirty work, and the blonde-haired, blue-eyed gets the credit. It's fucking bullshit. Fucking
That's the way of the world.
It is. It really is. But I'm thinking I'm going to go Luthen. The Luthen Clea. I'm gonna have to put him 1-2, right?
Yeah.
Luthen Clea. Who did I say? It was Luthen Clea.
I think Mon's second. Well, Lonnie.
Mon. I still gotta go Mon because that speech. None of this gets done without that speech.
Then Lonnie.
You go Lonnie, then I go Andor, and then Bail.
I go Lonnie before Andor.
Lonnie, Andor, Bail. So it's Luthen.
Because
Mon,
honestly,
Andor, Bail.
You could erase all the shit Andor did up until the point where Lonnie gave Luthen the plans, the deets. And then Lonnie gives it to Clea, and then Clea hands it to Andor at that point. But Clea takes it all the way back to Yavin.
She takes it to the Yavs, baby.
Of course, Andor saves her, rescues her. But then again, K2SO saves him. Otherwise, it's over right there.
The most worthless members of the rebellion were all the other people on the round table, besides Mon Mothma and Bail Organa. The ones that are like, this is just bullshit. This is hearsay. Like, now, I'm going to say this. I think I've already told you this.
Yeah.
My favorite moment in anything Star Wars, anything ever, is Snoke's I can't be defeated, I can't be betrayed scene in Last Jedi. When that to me, that's my favorite Star Wars moment ever. When Kylo and Rey team up for that brief moment, I jumped up. And
Kylo just goes
boom. I was like, oh fuck. It was, I mean, that was the only literal change the game moment in Star Wars. Yeah. Had they followed through with that, who knows how great Rise of Skywalker or the third film could have been.
It was Rian Johnson's ultimate FU to J.J. Abrams.
It was just boom.
Hilarious.
Yes. And now I think number 2 has to be I Am Your Father for me. I know that's a lot of people's number 1, right?
It's my number 1 because I did see that in the theater.
It's I'm Your Father. It's I'm Your Father. And then, but top 10 is K2 Unleashed in that last episode of Andor. That was when he just picks up the Imperial guy that you cannot stand the most. And you can't wait for this guy to die, and K2 just meat shields him throughout that.
The whole time you're like, he's going to die.
Yes.
You hate him and you want him to die, but you're like, what's a great is the death going to be satisfying enough?
Yes.
And it was.
Oh.
Just snaps his neck and then just meat shields him all the way down the hallway.
Tremendous. What do you think is the best? I got this for you. I think I've narrowed down my two favorite character. My two favorite fuck yous to a character in Star Wars.
Okay.
Will you help me rank these, Eddie? And please remind me what I'm forgetting. Okay.
All right.
But one of them has to be Krennic to Daedra going, "Oh, we'll just have to carry on without you." Like, goddamn. And then of course,
you see, he improvised the finger on the top of the head.
Did he
you
really?
Read about that?
Yeah. No, that's great. So
that shock on her face is like,
real.
What the fuck is he doing?
What the fuck's he doing? Oh, so that's that. And then the other one is my favorite as a kid. Just the how evil can one person be? Apology accepted, Admiral Piet. Remember that?
Captain
Piet. Captain Nita. And then he promotes Piet to Admiral, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that right after that scene?
Yeah.
He kills Nita, and then he goes Admiral Piet. Did he call him Admiral or Captain? I forgot, but I know he promotes Piet instantly.
No, he goes Admiral.
He apology accepted, Captain Nita. And then Piet, that is some of the best acting ever, is the look on Piet's face when he's like, I don't want this promotion. I don't want this promotion. I don't want shit. The attention he gives him is like, shit.
Like, I don't care what the health benefits are. I don't care.
I don't want the raise. But when he just waits till Nita's dead to then say apology accepted.
Apology accepted.
Which do you think is colder? Apology accepted, Captain Nita, or we'll just have to carry on without you? I think we'll just have to carry on without you because she's still alive. Like there's no, she is now fucked beyond. Like she would at that moment, because you see the final shot of her, she would trade places with Nita in 2 seconds. Just choke me and kill me.
My only reason I think the other one is colder, Darth Vader's is colder, is because he says it with no emotion whatsoever.
No emotion.
Where Krennic is giving it like
he's
the anger is there. He wants to snap her neck, but he's not.
And the sick thing is Vader's almost being sincere. He's almost being like, apology accepted, Captain Nita. Like you're like, oh God, okay, wow. Like he kind of meant that. But is there one I'm missing, or are those probably the two best send-offs?
Maybe when Jabba sends the Twi'lek down to get eaten by the Rancor because she won't come over and blow him.
That's true.
He's like, you don't want to blow me? Bye.
That's a good one.
Drops her down the floor.
Of course, that fucking, ruined with the prequel. But yeah, what does Han say when he shoots Greedo? Yeah, I'll be counting. Over my.
Yeah, I bet you have. Greedo says, "I've been looking for the. I've been looking for this for a long time. Looking for this for a long time." He's like, "Yeah, I bet you have."
Boom. Fucking great. Yeah.
That would have been cold, but they added the fucking shot in there.
That would have been so fucking cold. That would have been. Oh man, that would have been the best. It was the best for a few years. We had a nice 10, 11 year run of that being the best, and then it just got absolutely ruined. But yeah, it was God, just so.
Or Vader's force choking what's his face in the Death Star, and then Tarkin says, "Release him." He's like, "As you wish," and he just like it's like I could kill everybody in this room right now.
Okay, fine.
But
I'll play ball.
I'm not going to.
I'll play ball. That is. Was it Piet? Because Piet dies too. Doesn't he force choke Piet also? Or no?
No, because he's there. He's there at the end when the Millennium Falcon goes into hyperspace, and he's like he just walks away from Vader like, okay, right. I'm leaving. Bye. Like,
now had they had a little more comedy, you would have just seen a fucking after he walks out, this Vader still looking out at the sky, and then you just see a little ejection pod shoot out.
He's just floating by the window.
The fuck out of here. Who's the guy? Was it Nita that he starts explaining what he's doing, and then he just starts getting force choked by Vader? That's the greatest death in movie
because he thought it would be better surprise.
Yes,
because he came out of hyperspace too close, so the radars picked him up. He's like, I thought surprise was the better.
The way he just goes from explaining himself, that is.
But he's force choking him from another ship.
That is, I think, some of the best acting. That's one of the greatest deaths in movie history, acting-wise, is that dude selling being choked by invisible thin air. The way, and just he's getting
and then he drops.
Oh, just boom. Fuck, that was incredible. That was, oh God, that was that.
But that, I mean, like right there showed you how powerful Vader was. Because everyone later on goes, they made Vader too powerful. I'm like, dude.
No, he killed the guy from
another ship.
Space. He didn't even, I mean, he didn't
Of course he was powerful.
He didn't even know the exact positioning. He just felt where the guy was.
Yeah, and choked him to death.
Through 2 giant fucking Star Destroyers. Or was he on the Super Star Destroyer at that point? I think he was on the Super, wasn't he?
Yeah, no, I don't think they... Yeah, they did have the Super Star Destroyer at that point.
He might have been. He was from that fucking thing. And he fucking takes a guy. Oh, my God. Like, just...
He wasn't even... crazy.
And I think you were saying Vader's... Like, at that point in lore... We'd never seen anybody do that 40-foot leap like Luke Skywalker did.
Yeah.
Right? And completely unfazed. Vader was just like, okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've seen this. I can
do that. I can do that.
Yeah,
I can do that too if I wanted to.
Yeah,
I don't want to, but I could if I wanted to.
I could do it backwards. I could do it upside down.
I invented that, but whatever.
I invented that move. Well, whatever, guy. Fucking incredible. Man, so I think it's just because I just finished watching Andor again, and I'm just geeking out over every aspect of it, and just like how I just kind of want Tony Gilroy and whoever was behind Skeleton Crew to just do every Star Wars thing from here on out. Like
Tony Gilroy needs to write some sort of pirate adventure with Jod Nana.
That would be fucking amazing. Oh my God. But it was geek out time, man. We already did. We geeked out on Star Wars, but
I know. I kind of blew my wad.
I kind of too. We could just leave it at that because let me give you another geek out moment. Was friend of the Ramble, Tom Bissell, had told me stick around to the 44-minute mark of the end credit sequence.
Yeah,
and you hear the fucking. Dun, da, 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 da. Oh my God. Hearing the fanfare of them winning in part 1 from John Williams to close out this show was fucking, oh my God, it was tremendous. That was so good. It was, that was just, oh, you know what? I take it back.
What?
With all due respect to Luke, I am your father. My number 2 all-time moment.
Okay.
That's number 3. Eddie, when I was a little kid watching it for the first time, I remember I was so scared for Luke at the end. Yeah. I was terrified. And then, Yahoo! You're all clear, kid. I was like, oh my God, Han came back!
That was a great moment.
Han coming back was...
That was a great moment.
That was...
Now, if we want to go... Now, we could also revisit our coldest lines in Star Wars.
Yeah.
In Return of the Jedi, when Vader and Luke are there with the Emperor, and then the Emperor's just talking mad shit to him. He's like, "Oh, your friends on the Endor moon, they will die. They will die. Like,
they will. Ooh.
Oh, perhaps you're talking about the imminent attack by your rebel fleet."
That was and let's look at this fully operational.
He's like, your friends up there in the Endor moon.
Palpatine was the coldest of the cold in Return of the Jedi, especially when and now, young Skywalker, you will die. Boom, just like basically you disappointed me. But what I loved about that scene was he was like, I'll find someone else. Right? Like, he was so confident, Palpatine. You disappointed me, Wolf. The search goes on.
I'll keep Vader around a little bit longer. We'll find somebody else.
We'll turn Leia. We'll kill you. We'll go turn your sister. Fuck it. We'll figure this out one way or another. And your faith in your friends shall be yours. Like, he just had a comeback for everything. he had a comeback, and I remember
he should have done roast battle. That would have been great. Emperor doing roast battle.
Well, what I loved about the Emperor, what I thought was so great about how bad, like when Luke just starts beating Vader. What I didn't expect, because as a kid, I'm watching that going, awesome, he's going to win. And then you just see the Emperor. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Like, oh, no. He's not supposed to be winning like this.
It's not, oh, so good.
This is what the Emperor wants.
So, before we get on to our best around, I just will say to an aside here on what's going on in the world of Netflix documentaries. Is it weird that, like, part of me feels vindicated? Not vindicated, but part of me is like, yeah, I was right to just think Brett Favre was a pile of shit just because I hated the Packers. Like, you know what I mean? My roommates and I hated.
Because you were a Cowboy fan, and that was the biggest rivalry in the mid-'90s was the Packers-Cowboys.
And he didn't
and then the Niners.
He didn't have any fucking lips. And I hated that stupid, like, I'm going to hand it off and then pretend that fooled nobody. It was just everything.
Like, I will admit, in the mid-'90s, I got caught. I mean, I was still a Washington fan, but I got caught up in watching Favre play.
Yeah.
Because he was a big rival with the Cowboys. I was like, oh, somebody can beat the Cowboys because my team can't.
Right.
So I got caught up in it. And then, like, it was like 97, 98 when Mark Chmura got caught in a hot tub with, like, a 17-year-old.
He don't do the stupid fucking, the football, the pineapple. Oh,
yeah. And then they were, but then, like, they were all at a party together, and Chmura apparently did something horrific to a 17-year-old. And you knew Favre was there. And, like, after that point, I'm like, oh, he's probably a piece of shit.
See, I didn't even need that. My roommates and I, but see, it's simply because of a rivalry. We were like, fuck this guy forever. Like, it was like he, like, man, there's something about Mary was such a fun movie. Up to a point, there's something about Mary was such a fun movie. And then they have to give this fucking dickhead a cameo. And it was like, oh, God.
But that's what the whole thing is about. It's the fall of Favre. It was how he was America's sweetheart.
Is that wrong? Like, am I wrong to brag that he was never my sweetheart? I always hated him. As much as I loved football, as much as I'll tell you this right now. I couldn't stand Darryl Green, but I respected the shit out of him because he was so good, right? You know what I mean? There was no respect for Brett Favre. I couldn't stand that motherfucker. I don't know why. I didn't know why back then. I couldn't stand that mother. I fucking respected Steve Young. Couldn't fucking stand him. Respected him. I was like, Steve Young's great. You got to give it to him. Right? You know what I mean? Yeah. When Brett Favre won his Super Bowl, I wasn't like, oh, you got to give it to him. I was like, man, fuck that motherfucker. In fact, I remember that night, the next week, we were at this. So the next, like, 2 nights later, we were at an open mic at a local comedy club, and there was a guy there who was a big Packer fan, and we pissed him the fuck off because this buddy of mine, this comedian, who's now since passed away, Doug, may he rest in peace. He had a really funny line where he just went up to that guy and goes, you know there's no way Aikman would let that old piece of shit beat him. Like, you're talking about Elway. You know there ain't no way Aikman would let that old piece of shit beat him. We just couldn't give Brett Favre anything. And, everything about him, I hate the fake I always hated the phony humility. No,
he was a fucking diva.
He was a piece of shit. Man, fuck him.
Well, yeah. He definitely was a piece of shit.
But I just feel like, I'm not going to act like, I didn't know he was this. But
nobody knew he was this.
But it was
he was just a garbage person.
But I was sick of him from the fucking get-go.
I didn't get sick of, like, in the beginning, when his first couple of years, I got caught up. I was like, oh, he's fun to watch. He's beating the Cowboy. I'm into it. And then by 98, 99, and Madden just had the full fucking package down his throat. He was just slurping his ball. I got sick of it. I was like, okay, enough of this, Madden. Seriously. There's other people playing this game. It's not just him.
It's not. He's only won one. He's only won one. That when you could argue with that defense. Yeah. And with with Holmgren, who was Andy Reid's mentor.
Yeah.
He fucking Gruden's mentor. He could have won. He should have won more than one. But because
right.
he
and
was
then like later on when he worked his way out of Green Bay, I was like, this guy's kind of a fucking diva. He's gonna say he's saying he's retiring, then he's not, then he is, and he's not, and he keeps
just
dicking.
holding teams hostage. It was just
right,
like,
and then I guess it's just the curse of the Packers because Aaron Rodgers turned into just a piece of shit too, doing the same shit.
He did also
just
turn into a prick.
I'm not going to retire.
Yeah.
I'm going to retire. I'm not going to retire.
Yeah, maybe.
And then you find out later on, no, he's not just a diva. He's a shitty human being.
He's
just
a shitty
piece of
person.
Shit
That was like, but I would say, 19-year-old me would have been like, absolutely, he's going to rip off poor people. I could have told you that at 19. Absolutely, he's going to rip off poor people one day. Oh, man. Now, and be a fucking Me Too pile of shit.
Yep.
So now, the best around. Here we go.
Best around.
X-Men costume. And I it's all works, whether it's the shit they just wore, Wolverine just walking around with jeans and a leather jacket and a flannel.
Right.
You know, I'll tell you which one I think was the dumbest.
Okay.
Did Cyclops need the leather jacket over the onesie?
It just looked like he got him one night to go walk the dog. That's just what it looked like.
Like it was, he had to go throw the
I never
garbage.
got that. I never got the leather jacket.
I was not a fan of Cyclops the leather jacket over the onesie. I was very stupid. I
never understood that.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that. I thought that was top 5 dumbest. Like just what are we doing? What are we doing here, fellas? What are we doing?
So I can run down the list. We have the original uniforms, right?
Okay, like
which
60s?
was the original, the 60s, where they all just had the X, the blue and the yellow X.
Couldn't get into it. Liked it, but didn't love it.
New Mutants. You got the New Mutants, which is sort of like it's in a uniform. They all have that yellow onesie with the blue legs and arms.
Yeah.
90s uniforms. You had like that's where it was sort of. Everybody it almost seemed like a free for all. Like the late 80s, early 90s, where it
was even mid 80s because my pick is Mohawk's Punk Storm with the leather jackets, the leather vest Storm, the little half a shirt, and the Mohawk. I know that's technically not a costume, right?
Right.
That's just an outfit that she has on. So if that is disqualified, I'm going to have to go the X Factor Cyclops, where he was all the big, right? He was the white and blue.
But it was that harkened back very similar to the original X-Men uniforms.
It really did. I'll tell you though. Then because this is a tough one. But are you saying Mohawk Storm probably shouldn't be allowed because it's not? Really,
I just think that was the one sort of segment of X-Men where they all did their own thing.
Yes.
Which was cool, and I dug it, and it's probably my favorite era of X-Men.
Right.
But I don't know if you can go, okay, that was a uniform.
Then I'm either going to go first appearance with X-Men Storm or late 70s first appearance with X-Men Nightcrawler.
Okay.
With the big fucking shoulder puff things that Nightcrawler had. That fucking, the red and black and yellow onesie kind of thing.
Now, X-Force had some cool unis.
X-Force had some great ones.
They had the black ones that were cool. I guess if I had to pick, I would probably pick the X Factor ones because they had the X's.
They did have the
but
X's.
Everyone had their own color. Like Angel had a red with a white X.
Right,
Cyclops was blue with a yellow X. Jean Grey was green with the yellow X. Like they all had their own. They had individuality to it, but it was a uniform.
That's a good one. The damn good one. So you're gonna go a set, as opposed to just a single uniform.
As a single character's uniform.
You're gonna go set. Single character uniform. If it was part of a uniform, actually I take that back. I'm either gonna go first early Nightcrawler or early Colossus. I thought that early Colossus outfit was fucking fantastic. Now, was it helped by the steel flesh? Absolutely.
Yeah.
The steel flesh helped a lot.
If you didn't have the steel flesh, it kind of looks like a little S&M. It looks a little kinky.
If a guy's just wearing it.
You don't take him serious.
You probably don't.
No.
Man.
But I mean, this was a cool, like that, to me, that was a cool.
This is like the Bishop Forge stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Forge. Which is this? This is X Factor? This is late X Factor?
This was no, I think this was X-Men, wasn't it?
This is X-Men.
Or was that X-Force?
No, that X-Force. I'm sorry. Was that the beginning of X-Force?
Yeah, I think that was X-Force spun off of
because even Banshee looked cool with the blue and yellow.
Yeah,
it was the same outfit, but it looked better than the green, the blue and yellow. That's I'm with you there. I think that was just so clean looking. Let's see that again.
Very clean.
That was just so clean. Yeah, that's
it's just it. Like that's a team. That looks like a team.
You don't fuck with it. Like that's a stable. That's a WWE stable.
Yeah.
Right there. That's
what always bothered me when I was a kid watching tag teams when the tag teams would dress differently. I'm like, no, you got to wear the same shit.
Same outfit. What are we doing?
You're not a team. You're doing the same shit.
I mean, Axe and Smash didn't have the exact same face paint, but they had the exact same everything else.
No, it was the same with Road Warriors.
Road Warriors.
Rockers, Rock and Roll Express, Midnight Express. They all had the Killer Bees.
Would you wear the Rockers tights out now?
Yeah.
I think I would too.
I would too. Shirtless.
Shirtless. Walk around just wearing the Rockers outfit. I think I would too. I absolutely would. Man,
like that's just badass. I don't know.
God, that's great.
Look at Storm's tits. Look at Storm's tits.
God damn.
Jesus, she can have
and
it.
even Wolverine looks cool with the hairdo, with that outfit.
Yeah, he doesn't need the mask.
He doesn't need the mask. He doesn't need the cowl there. He looks great.
But again, like this was cool to me. They all had their individuality.
Yeah, that's good shit. That's good stuff. That was
as X Factor.
Because X Factor was just the original ones, right? But when
Beast, team. Angel, Jean Grey,
Cyclops,
Iceman.
Yeah, that's. And then I just don't know. Are there any stories where Angel is interesting unless he's Archangel?
No, that's why they had to make him Archangel because he was the most bland.
He's just a rich guy who can fly.
Yeah, you're like, fuck off. You're not bringing anything to this at all.
You're just rich and you can fly. It's better.
But Archangel, you're a fucking
Archangel,
badass.
Menacing, fucking menacing.
Greatest character change of all time, Angel to Archangel.
Fuck, it's up there. It's fucking up there. It has to, or Bumblebee to Goldbug. I mean,
yeah.
Now we have Blaster to Twincast. We have to consider this.
That's a great one too.
Blaster to Twincast is now entered. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, Oz to Diesel.
Or
Oz to Vinny Vegas to Diesel.
So stunning Steve Austin to the Ringmaster to Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I mean, these are all right up there.
Isaac Yankem to Kane, probably, if you're going to have to pick.
The Captain Mike Rotunda wearing a captain's hat into the ring to IRS. Erwin Shyster.
Isn't it funny that the Shockmaster was so bad again that just making him dress like a 5-year-old pretending to be a sailor was better?
Was a massive upgrade
than the Shockmaster.
He dressed like a fucking kid getting his picture taken at Sears when he was 3. And he had to go, hoo hoo. He had to,
and he's like, I don't care. Just get this glitter stormtrooper helmet off me.
Did he break into tears every time he came through the curtain after a match? He just came through the curtain and dropped.
No, because he waved. I think he had been if he had to still be Shockmaster. If he had to still hold that glitter-covered stormtrooper helmet, then he would have been like, "What's happened?"
So Shockmaster had to crawl so Tugboat could run.
So Tugboat Thomas could.
And then Typhoon.
They finally gave him Typhoon.
Finally, he emerged like a phoenix from the ashes.
You've paid enough dues. You'll be Typhoon.
You sucked my dick enough. You sucked my dick enough.
You sucked my cock enough time. You kept your mouth shut at all this sex trafficking I've been doing. You'll be Typhoon.
You can ditch the sailor hat, boy.
Oh, God. Now, at the NES game that should have been Sim City Branch Davidian Cult Edition. Oh, man. Where do we begin? Are they even still around, the Branch Davidians? Like, are anyone even still like, yeah, I'm still a Branch Davidian, Seventh-day Adventists, just, doing my thing.
Do you start off with a fence? You got a perimeter. You got to make a perimeter, right? You got to start with a fence. The whole thing starts with a fence, right?
It begins with a fence.
If we're building a compound.
Are there like competing rednecks to think he's Jesus? Do you have to kind of whittle it down? Does it become a little bit more of a...
Are there separate camps, like little, like...
Yeah.
And you have to bring them all together to form one?
Or there's a war, and whoever wins is, okay, we'll recognize this guy as the new Jesus. He can
Maybe.
He can fuck all of our daughters, I guess. Like that, like Jesus would have done.
He's the most Jesus-like, so here, have my daughter.
Here, go fuck all my...
Because that's what Jesus would want.
He's the holiest one. So here, give him
have
my
all
daughter.
of our daughters.
That's the title
all
of
our
the episode.
daughters.
He's the holiest one, so have all of our daughters. I mean, so what are you building on here? You need the place to store all the illegal firearms.
Right.
Right.
Well, you need a compound first because they have to have a place to sleep.
Right. Is
so
this more
you
like
got to take care of the.
Is
what?
this more like Minecraft? Like,
well, SimCity, you got to construct different buildings to house different things. You got to be near a river so you can do laundry and have water.
I would just think like Minecraft at night. The extra psychos show up, looking to get part of the action, and you have to either fight them off or convert them, turn them. Now, this is the. Is Janet Reno the villain? Is she the Bowser of this?
Does she come by and raid the compound every once in a while?
Every 4 or 5 in-game hours, this Godzilla-like Janet Reno just comes at the
Janet
ATF.
Reno and the DEA come and raid the compound.
The ATF.
The ATF and
they burn it to the ground, and you got to start a new one. Jeez, it was like.
So you need a compound, you need an armory.
Yeah.
You gotta have some place. You need some farmland. You gotta exist off the ground. You gotta off the land. You gotta have some crops.
You also need a radio tower, so your boy can spread his message every night.
Yeah.
Get up there and start talking. That you gotta do that too. And the thing. It's like, why did he like? Do you have to fuck a bunch of underage girls? Like, why does your religion need this? Is this part of what? Why is this part of it?
I think you want to fuck the underage girls, so that's why you're creating the religion, so you can make it acceptable within that group of people.
That's why I don't like any religion. It's all full of shit. You're all just fucking. You're all just doing. It's just so you can get away with something evil. That's all this is. You're bullshitting people into telling them you think you know what happens when you die, and then you're gonna use that to do whatever the fuck you want to them.
Yeah,
that's it.
You're convincing people you have some sort of direct line to the afterlife, and you know what's happening.
The balls on anyone.
So here, put your penis in me. You can put your penis in me because you know what's going to happen when we die.
The balls on anyone to. Oh yeah, I know what happens. Here, we got it. We figured it out. Fucking unbelievable. I do like the idea of like a Bowser-sized Janet Reno and the
just coming through and. Or maybe she's like a Trojan horse, like she's just this giant thing, and like her chest opens up, and that's just where the ATF comes
all
out.
They just spill out and start shooting out the place, and you have to rebuild it. My God, what a ramp! Is this a rental or do you buy the Super Nintendo game?
I rent this. I don't know if I keep playing this. This is a rental.
I rented.
2 days is enough. 2 days is enough.
I think I last about 5 minutes, and I'm putting in something else. I'm like, okay. Now tell me what you think of Ramble 449, Eddie. The steel cage is being lowered.
Okay.
Do you think we can pull this off? I know we've come close to something like this before, but I just want to give this to you.
Okay.
And tell me what you think for next Ramble 449.
Okay.
Steel cage is lowered.
Uh-huh.
The bell has been rung.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, the announcer's out there.
Sure.
In this corner we have Dick Enberg and Paul McGuire. Is this a pop or is this booze? What do you say right now?
I think you're getting booze for Enberg, but I think McGuire
is kind of over.
He's a little over. He's the heel that's a little over.
Yeah. And then in the other corner, Pat Summerall, John Madden.
No, that's the pop. You're getting the pop with them.
That's the big pop. Now, before anything else can happen, may he rest in peace. But then Greg Gumbel comes walking out. Goes, wait a minute, everybody. This is going to be a triple threat match. And then you hear, ba-ba-ba-bum, ba-dun, da-dun. And then out comes Al Michaels, Dan Dierdorf, and Gifford.
Frank Gifford. Yep.
Frank Gifford.
Frank Allen Dan. Frank Allen Dan.
Come on. Do you think we can settle this? Do you think we can have this?
Is Hank Williams Jr. the ring guy? Is he the ring guy? Hank Williams Jr.
Is he their Miss Elizabeth?
Is he their escort?
Is the escort? I think he might be the Miss Elizabeth.
Is he in a dress? Because that would make me happy.
Yes, he's in a dress as her escort, no question. Dick Enberg, Paul McGuire, Pat Summerall, John Madden, and then Frank Allen Dan.
It's gonna be a match.
Do any of them like each other? I say no, right? This is all bad blood, correct?
I think it's all bad blood. I think if there is going to be a team up, it's going to be Frank Allen Dan might team up with Enberg and McGuire.
McGuire to get rid of Summerall and Madden.
Because I think Summerall and Madden are like, it's like Hogan and Beefcake. It's like they were so over there in the late 80s. In fact, they're both dressed like Hogan and Beefcake. Madden's just in the yellow trunks. Summerall's in the beefcake.
Does Summerall have a flask he just spits at you like the fucking, like that's he just takes a swig from his flask and spits it in your eyes? Is that like could that be his?
That's his finisher, his breath.
We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out soon enough. Next Ramble. Thank you for tuning in. My God, Eddie, what a ramble! What a ramble! All that we've accomplished. The Ramble 448. He's the holiest one. So have all of our daughters. We will be back Friday for a Ramble Radio. Lord knows what we'll talk about, but we'll be here. Thank you for tuning into the Ramble. Please subscribe to it. 5-star rating, positive text review. The Ramble, a Potteration podcast. And enjoy the music. We will be back next time. Stay safe out there, everybody. Know you're loved, and we'll see you soon. Adios.
Oh,
look at
hit
that.
it.
Look at that.
So is Greg Gumbel the actual president? Or is he like a president? Like he's a Jack Tunney, so he's not the real force. He's just a figurehead.
Yeah, he's a figure. He's kayfabe president. He's kayfabe president. He's a Jack Tunney. Or should he be the real deal?
That's what we have to figure that out for next week, I think.
I think you're right.
Is he the Jack Tunney or is he the Vince McMahon of this whole?
Because does something nefarious happen either way?
Right. Who's calling the match? That could have a lot to do with it.
Oh God. Uh-oh. Is there a waiting?
Is Terry Bradshaw calling the match?
Oh my God.